What is going on, Phillies fans? Welcome back to the Fighting's Final here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network with your boy Matty B on the call. And hey, we got a series win. From the brinks of disaster to the heights of ecstasy, folks. Phillies find a way to pull it off today in extras 6-5 over the Washington Nationals. A come-from-behind win when all was lost. I mean, good night, nurse. 5-1. Offense was scuttling. Bryce Harper can't apply a tag on first base to get out of a huge jam with the bases loaded. Christopher Sanchez was all over the place. Not his best start. Everything had the makings of a loss written all over this game. But they found a way, and they used the combination of the long ball and the small ball. They found a way to marry both sides of the game of baseball, and it was a result of a win. And Justin Crawford, I could not be happier for that guy. There's a lot of people in this chat, in this show, that wants to rag on him about his problems with hitting the ball in the air. Well, guess what? You saw why today he's here. You saw what kind of a weapon he can be in certain situations in a game. I don't need him to hit the ball in the goddamn air. Hit the ball on the ground, young man, and run it out. And today, because of that slash hitting ability, a pulled-in infield in extra innings with the game-winning run on third base, stood no chance. There was probably, for all you analytical nerds out there, probably about a 95% chance that Justin Crawford was going to come through in that situation, either with somehow a slash hit like he had, a deep ground ball, a drag bunt, something would have resulted in a game-winning play, probably more so than anything else. And that is why you shove it up your ass, analytical, exit velo, launch angle geeks out there have no place in the game of baseball. Analytics has never had a place in the game of baseball. And, of course, the misrepresentation of analytics when it comes to hitting styles and types of hitters does not have a place in this game. And today, Justin Crawford showed you why that is the case. And you know what? Congratulations to the young man. Congratulations to the Phillies to find a way to win today, 6-5, salvage the series, first series win of 2026. And it's great to be back on our business person special edition of the Fighting's Final here on this Thursday. Is it Thursday? Wednesday afternoon here in the afternoon. So it's great to be back. Let's get to the chats. You guys are blowing it up. Yep. Yeah. And then, of course, Armando Sosa, you already know I have an issue with this team and lineup construction and all that. When you got a 5-hitter, Bryson Stott, who's batting now 200 and can't seem to find his way through it, but if you're consistently pulling him out for a pinch hitter in a game in the 5-hole and you're putting a situation where the bench is not what you would call the strongest in the world, there's no power off the bench. There's nothing off the bench other than a bunch of role players. Otto Kemp, I guess Rafael Marchand, if you want to use him in some sort of offensive situation. I don't know why you would, and of course, Armando Sosa. So when you're consistently, as it seems to be over the first 6 games of the year, going to the bench for Stott at some point in the game, you're really putting yourself in a spot with that 5-hole. And to Armando Sosa's credit, came up big offensively and then said, hold my beer, and came up bigger defensively in the 10th inning with that amazing play. Not amazing, really good play. And then had the presence of mind. It wasn't necessarily the throw, or not the throw, but the catch that had me. It was the presence of mind. I'm not celebrating. I'm coming down and I'm throwing it right to second because I know I got the guy doubled off. That's a baseball player, folks. That's somebody who understands the game. So I got to give Armando Sosa a lot of credit here too. Not the greatest situations in that 5 spot. The idiot Rob Thompson has no idea how to build a lineup. But, I guess today it worked out. Good win. I like the energy, the determination at the end. Well, I'm glad you kind of put the end in there because this game had all the appeal of going to get your taxes done at some point. I mean, good. There's a problem with this offense, but it's not a problem that's a new problem. And that's what I love about the early season struggles. It's and what do I hear? I hear homers Incorporated going at back and forth last night, and I apologize. I apologize for the homer representation on this network. I truly do. I'm an equal opportunity employer. I can't discriminate against somebody for being a homer, and that's fine. And they have a place here. But if I hear one more homer tell me it's only 5 or 6 games into a season, I'm going to throw up. It's not 5 or 6 games into a season. It's about 500 games into a regime. That's what we're sitting at here. It's not this nonsense about, well, it's only 5 games. Take that along with the analytics stuff out the window. It's not. There's hundreds of games of a sample size about this offense. And it is what it is. And these are not new problems. These are not new concerns. It's every year it's this. But yet every year here we are with this. And that's the frustrating part. And homers don't get it. Homers don't get that frustration. The frustration is nothing changes. The frustration is we've seen this repeat and repeat and repeat and repeat, and nothing changes. That's the frustration. It ain't nothing to do with 5 games or 6 games into a season. That's such bullcrap. It's like 500 games in. And that's the frustration, folks. And yes, it was on full display again today, and it'll be on full display on Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. And then as we move all the way through the season, this is what they are. And it's not conducive to winning a World Series up to this point. We know that. But to get surprised or to get agitated to a group of the fans that are getting a little fed up with this and pulling that nonsensical, well, it's only 5 games in, I'm not pushing the panic button. Dude, it's like 500 games in. Yeah, I'm pushing the panic button, man. I'm jamming on that thing because it doesn't work. And we've seen it not work. But again, modus operandi in full effect. They found a way to get to the end of this game and battle their way back in using the long ball. Bryce Harper, woohoo! Was that a clutch hit? Does that go in the clutch column, that home run late? I think it does. But I'm more surprised at the JT home run. I mean, that was the bigger hit in the game for me to get things kind of rolling again. But, yeah, I guess it's a clutch hit. I don't know. Crawford is going to be a star. Wait, aren't you the one? No, you're not the one. It's the other guy that told me that the analytics don't point to Crawford being a good player. The analytics speak volumes about Justin Crawford. Can't hit the ball out of the infield. He's not going to be a good hitter. It's all about exit velo. It's all about launch angle. It's all about, you know what? Yeah, but I agree. Justin Crawford is going to be a star. I can't believe WIP got rid of Scoops. Who the hell Scoops? And what are you talking about WIP up in my show for, man? Oh, here we go. Now we're going to start the internal conversations. Love that stuff. Sanchez was good today, but lacked. Where did that go? Sanchez was good today, but Sanchez was terrible today. Terrible. How can you be good but lack command? What the hell does that mean? I was good today, but I failed at everything. That's right. Yeah, I was good today, but failed at everything I did. If you're a pitcher and you lack command, the word good does not necessarily fit into your equation. Sanchez was not good today. He was serviceable, and that's a testament to his ability as a pitcher. 5 1/3, 4 hits, a run, an earned run, 7 strikeouts, but 4 terrible, huge walks, and 97 pitches. 97 pitches through 5 1/3. A labored effort today by Chris Sanchez. But again, when sometimes you don't have it, but he still found a way to kind of keep it in there, you know? So, no, he was not good. I'm not watching. I'm not taking care of these internal. This is nonsense. I ain't looking at internal stuff. Nah, you would think. No, come on. Where are we at here? All right. All right. Let's go down to this one. If they take that walk-off energy into Colorado, I think Kruk, I caught the end of the telecast. Kruk said, if you can't get things right in Colorado, then you're just probably not going to get them right. I agree. The only thing about Colorado at this time of the year, it's going to be a little chilly out there. Thankfully, tomorrow's game is a 4:00 start. I think a couple of them, mostly of them are in the afternoon. I think Saturday night might be a night game, but yeah, they gotta continue to build off this energy, you know, and find a way to just win baseball games. And you know, this is a good start, but by no stretch of the means is this going to be. Am I like, oh, everything's great? No, I mean this is what it is. This is what the season is. The Phillies are what they are. The season is what it is, and we're again laboring in the middle of it. here in early April. But it's not about being 34-14 at the end of April to me. It's about being 500 or better and healthy, because you got a whole season ahead of you. And, you cannot win a World Series in April, but you certainly can lose one. You can put yourself in such a hole that you're not able to be contending in this thing. So, and I don't necessarily think the Phillies are a team that can dig themselves out of a hole. So you got to maintain some sort of consistency through this month of April and do what you got to do. But you just got to continue to build on it. This is going to be a challenging road trip. Early season, Colorado and San Francisco. They can't win a game to buy anything in San Francisco. They're terrible in Oracle Park. Their history is a little bit better in Colorado. Not that much better. I've seen years where they've gotten swept out of Colorado. It's this early season nonsense in these climate areas where it's not conducive to playing baseball. This is a key road trip for this early season. You got to, at the very least, come out of this 3-3. Again, to kind of continue to build that momentum and then bring it home against Arizona. So you got to do better than that. You got to be a little bit consistent. He struck out 70, walked 4. He walked 4. They don't play well. They don't. That's history-wise. They really don't. Let's have a parade down Broad Street for the Phillies. Papernick chiming in with his usual positive self. Papernick, I think it's important for a realist to a realist, me and you, to understand that our problems with this baseball team are well documented. Our problems with this team are well understood. And that's the problem. That's the whole point of this. A lot of people have come out of the woodwork through 5 games, I guess, yesterday, and said it was some sort of nuance that the Phillies are struggling. Like, oh my God, what's going on? Blah, 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 blah. This is what this team has been for 5 years. And I think we understand that. If anybody I would trust to understand that is me and you. And so all this nonsense about it's only 5 games into a season, that's a homer take. That's an HOMER take, a big time homer take. All right. That's all that is. That's homers trying to get themselves to bed at night. But the reality is this team is what they are. And to understand that in April, as we move through this season, it's somewhat a gut punch that we're stuck back in the old way. That's the problem, right? We feel that we're trapped again in the old way. And then this thing is going to end up the same way as it has ended up over the past 4.5 years. That to me, that's my biggest headache with this. It's not that they were 2-3 or 1-3, whatever they were to start the season off. It's that they were just showing the signs of the reversion right back into what they were. And that was deflating to me in late March. You know what I'm saying? That's what's deflating to me. It's not that they struggled. It's that they were being the Phillies right away. It wasn't even a sign of any kind of a change. But today, the way they won that game, the way they blended the small ball and the long ball, and we'll talk about this throughout the course of the season. We've talked about it in the courses of other seasons. When both of those things are working for this baseball team, there's really not, in my opinion, there's not too many teams out there that can compete with them. The problem is it seldomly works together. It seldomly is in cohesion with each other. It's either they're hitting home runs or they're not hitting at all, or they're scratching out runs and they're winning games 2-0 on the backs of their pitching staff. It never seems to work out where you're blending both sides of the baseball together. And that's obviously the true nature of this and trying to sort of kind of crack that code. And every team is trying to do that. And that's how you build rosters in order to do that. But the Phillies haven't been able to figure that out. Today, in all its ugliness and inconsistencies at time, you saw how the long ball and the small ball married together and helped carry this team to a victory. So that to me was optimistic, right? I understand what they are. I know how we already know how this movie is going to end. We've been here before. Papernick, me and you have sat in the aisle seats together, watching this thing play out year after year after year. We know this. But to see the Justin Crawford effect, specifically the Justin Crawford effect of how he can change a game and what his presence will do in game situations, this is one of them. This situation with him in the 10th, with the infield drawn up, and a slash hitter at the plate, a guy that does not hit the ball to the outfield. There were so many things that could have gone right there versus so many little things that could have gone wrong. And I had oodles and oodles of confidence in Justin Crawford to deliver in some way, shape, or form in that situation. I wouldn't have had that same confidence in Johan Rojas. I wouldn't have had that same confidence in Rafael Marchand. But I had the confidence in the hitter that Justin Crawford is. And Crux said it a couple times. He said it a couple times over the weekend into the week. I hope they never change his hitting style. Regardless of how many peaks and valleys he goes up and goes down, let him stay the way he is. He's going to be more effective in his natural way. And today, you saw it, and it married together. Didn't take a brain surgeon, though. Crawford should have been up last year. What do you think, Steve? Was it a play for an extra year of serviceability? I mean, we've talked about it all year. There was no question that he should not have been up. I don't think there was any doubt there. I mean, tore the cover. He was batted over 400 in Lehigh Valley. One of the best players in the International League. Had power down there, too. Johan Rojas was toiling away up here doing what he does. Brandon Marsh was doing. I mean, you're right. That was one of the questions we were constantly asking ourselves. Why is he not here? And was it about service time? Did it come down to that? Even Garcia doing. I'm concerned about the great defensive adjustment he had, or the great defensive upgrade. That ball down the line late, he could have made a play on that. He just sort of like gave up on that ball. I don't know, man. Didn't he also have a blunder play out? He's actually been somewhat of an adventure out in our left field there. Or in right field. Sorry, I don't know. I don't know if Garcia is playing well. Stats started good, but he's fallen off. And then the uncertainty of, I know there's certain parts of your lineup that you can get away with that sort of uncertainty of a hitter, 7, 8, 9, being 3 of them. But is the 5th position, is that the type of spot? Because how many times has he been lifted now in a game late for a pinch hitter? It was like 3 times now he's been taken out for a pinch hitter. Is that something and I don't care matchup wise, when you're dealing with your number 5 hitter in your lineup, it really shouldn't be an issue of a matchup, right? He's the guy. He's your 5-hole hitter. That's an important spot in your lineup. It's part of the permanent class of your lineup. And we're constantly taking him out for whatever matchup reasons or whatever struggles. Again, Rob Thompson's going to do everything he can do to not win. I firmly believe that. But having Stott in that 5-hole, again, was never a good idea. And now it's becoming somewhat comical the way he's employing him in the 5-hole. So let's just be done with the 5-hole experiment. Move him down to 7. Move everybody up. And let's try it that way, because I don't want to go through the next 100 and some odd games of the year constantly having to lift my 5-hole hitter in the 7th inning for a pinch hitter. And anyone using Ho Bader as an argument against Crawford Call-Blisher doesn't get. No, they absolutely don't. It has nothing to do with Hader or with Bader. It had nothing to do with him. A hater. It had nothing to do with Harrison Bader. I mean, Bader came in at the end of the year. It had everything probably to do with serviceability. It had to be. It had to be. Oh, man. No room, but we were stuck with Kepler. And yeah. I guess the one they're saying they need him to come up here and play every day. Yeah, I get it. It was pretty mad. How many times has Crawford been taken out? Oh, I know they didn't play him. Crawford bats 9th. Crawford bats 9th in the lineup. 9th. I'm not, okay, does anybody bat an eyelash when they pull the 9-hole hitter for a matchup situation? We're talking about the 5-hole hitter. We're talking about that guy. It'd be like trying to remove Schwarber every other game in the 5th inning for a pinch hitter because of a matchup. It's not natural. It's not baseball, man. That's analytics there, Star Wars. Absolute analytics. Steve doesn't understand Noom at Stott at 5. Nah, never will either. Put Marsh or Adolis at the 5. Why not? Right? And again, I don't know why this is so hard. This lineup nonsense is going to drive me crazy for the rest of the season. This guy, I don't know, man. What's wrong with Turner, Bohm, Harper, Schwarber, Garcia, Marsh, JT, Stott, Crawford? What's wrong with that? What's wrong with that lineup? And don't give me lefty righty nonsense. What's wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that lineup. Phillies de-eval Stott with how they use him offensively. 100%. And you got to bat in fifth to begin with. I don't understand that. Does Mattingly have a say with Stott batting fifth and removing him? No. What's the golden rule of baseball? It's the manager has the lineup. It's the manager's lineup. That's his job. That's his baby. I don't think so. I guarantee you I know if I was in that dugout, every time I would look at that thing and see Stott penciled in at fifth, I would have a tiny little stroke, right? Then I go, then we take him out in the fifth inning for a pinch hitter. I have another little tiny stroke. I know me, I probably wouldn't make it to the All-Star break. They'd be carting me out on a machine because they got to keep me alive. It's insanity. And you know what? How many of the Philadelphia vaunted media have asked Rob Thompson about this decision to bat Stott, or why we're constantly lifting him in games, and how bad of a look that is that your number 5 hole hitter has to come out every single game for a pinch hitter? How many of the vaunted Philadelphia sports media has asked that question? Zero. Because they're all a bunch of bootlicking lackeys and are afraid to lose their place in the great feeding trough of baseball down there at CBP. Marsh is a bench guy that has 500 MLB at bats to prove he can't hit lefties. Anyone else pinning that he hasn't got a chance is looking for clicks. He's actually been okay. I mean, Marsh has been, again, in context, is he the best thing? No. Would I rather have Logan O'Hoppe? Yeah, I would. But, yeah, I mean, Crawford already proved himself. No, he has not. Easy, Star Wars. He has not already proven himself. Mattingly will quit before Robbie is fired. Yeah, maybe he will. We talked about that the other night. Let's get into this thing. Let's get into let's talk some box score nonsense. Phillies, 6 runs on 12 hits, no errors. Nationals, 5 runs on 10 hits and 2 errors. Offensive standouts for this baseball game for the fighting Phillies. I understand it's got to be, and he actually had a pretty damn good day. 3 for 5, Justin Crawford. His first career RBI, wasn't his first career extra base hit, walk-off hit, all that nonsense. Justin Crawford, the player of the game offensively for me for the Phillies. His average is now up to 412 on this young season. Other offensive notables, of course, Bryce Harper with the homer today, 1 for 5 day with the strikeout, raising that batting average up to 120. And JT Realmuto with the 2-hit day, 2 for 3, also with the homer today, has got his average back up to the Mendoza line. He's batting 200. So all positive signs, but Justin Crawford is my offensive player of the game for the Nationals. Sneaky good team. Really a sneaky good team. The Nationals need themselves they really should go like for 2 veteran power hitters. I think the Nationals will fade at some point, probably around June, but they got some really good young pieces. And if you're looking to upgrade at the trade deadline, now most of these pieces are under long-term control. I don't know if they'd be interested in moving players along. James Wood, C.J. Abrams, Dylan Cruz, who got sent back down. He's another good young player, but they are filled. Dylan Lyle, he's a good player. They got some really good young talent on their baseball team. I would definitely kick the tires on a Washington Nationals team come trade deadline. We got veterans, right? I don't know. Maybe they'd like to give up a couple of young guys for a veteran presence inside their locker room. I don't know, but they're a really good, young, talented, athletic offensive team. Multiple players had 2 hits for them. And, of course, who had the big home run? Was it CJ? Yep, CJ Abrams with the 3 RBI day. 1 for 4 was the big 3-run shot. I guess you have to give him offensive standout honors for the Nationals. Pitching for the Phillies, we mentioned his line already. 5 1/3 for Sanchez. 4 hits, a run. It was earned. 4 walks, 7 strikeouts, 97 pitches, and 5 1/3. Not good. Not good at all. I'm sorry. But because of Sanchez's ability, and this is where the testament to Sanchez is given here, he didn't have his best stuff today, but his best stuff was still good enough to keep the Phillies around in this game. Bolin, Keller, Pop, Alvarado, and Johan Duran coming in the 10th secures the win, helped by the stellar defense of Edmundo Sosa in that 10th inning to turn the double play to get him out of that inning. For the Nationals, Cavelli, 6 innings, 5 hits, a run. It was earned, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts, 84 pitches through 6 innings. I'd rather have that. Granilla, Perez, Beeler, Poulin, and Henry all came in the losing effort for the Nationals as they fall today in extra innings. Scoring summary, the Phillies would get it going early in the first inning. Schwarber doubles in Turner to make it 1-0, but he was also thrown out trying to stretch it into a triple, I believe, right? Milas struck out swinging in the second inning in a bizarre play. Bases loaded. It was a swing and miss, drop third strike. Of course, there's no advancement on that play. JT couldn't find the ball, but the runner on first had strayed way off first base, thought the ball was beyond and everybody was moving up. JT guns it back to first. Harper cannot apply the tag. He slid right underneath the tag. And then Harper tried to push him off first base with his glove, of course, but they called him safe anyway. So the Nationals were able to tie the game up on that play. As the Phillies defense is shoddy at best, man. That's another problem heading into the second weekend of the season. Our defense ain't that good. Milas would then single in Young in the 6th inning to give the Nationals the 2-1 lead. The big hit for the Nationals in the 7th, the C.J. Abrams 3-run jack, makes it 5-1. And then here come the Phillies on the comeback trail. In the bottom of the 7th, the solo homer to dead center for JT to make it 5-2. Harper then would homer in the 8th to make it 5-3. And then in the 9th, Sosa would single in Moore and Turner to tie things up at 5. The big hit for Sosa not in the pinch hitting role, but in the second at bat of a pinch hitting role. And then Justin Crawford would get things in the win column in the 10th inning with a single to right field, scoring Brandon Marsh. And that is how you get 6-5. Phillies were 5 for 11 with runners in scoring position. They're more that's like 490, 480 with runners in scoring position. Very good. The Nationals were 2 for 10 with runners in scoring position. The Phillies left 13 runners on base. Phillies are averaging over 8 runners stranded on base so far this season a game. The Nationals left 8. Phillies did have a stolen base with Turner. The Nationals had one with Young. Lyle was also caught stealing in this game. First caught stealing runner of the season for Realmuto. And Brandon Marsh grounded into a double play for the Phillies. And that is all how you get 6-5 as the Phillies get the season win, the first one of the season, just in time to hit the road to Colorado here on the weekend. And if you're wondering, out there in Denver on Friday at 4:10 p.m. local, Aaron Nola will get the nod, and he'll be opposed by former Philly Michael Lorenzen, as they will get the series kicked off on Friday afternoon at 4:10 p.m. And, of course, we will be here for you with the Fighting's Final Rockies edition. There's the little graphic, and here's your lineup for the weekend. Big Al will be at you Friday night as he'll have this kind of funky Philly Friday Frenzy / Fighting's Final. Mike will have you Saturday, and I will finish it out on Sunday before we head to San Francisco next week. I will have you Sunday, and it will also be our first installment of the Down on the Phillies Farm Report. That's right, we're back. We will be highlighting the AAA level, the Iron Pigs, who by that point will have about 7, 8, 9, 10 games under their belt. So we'll start breaking down some Iron Pigs, players of the week, pitchers of the week, talk about their record. The other levels, with the exception, I believe, of the FCL, will kick off play Friday. So AA, both levels of A-ball, AA and both levels of A-ball will get going on Friday. So we will not have anything to talk about with them this weekend. But next weekend, it'll be full bore everybody, with the exception of the FCL Phillies and the DCL Phillies, red and white. I'm not obviously going to be talking about the Dominican Summer League when the league hasn't begun yet. And we may actually add, we hadn't done the DSL yet. I might add the DSL in this year. Maybe we'll get really deep in the weeds with the Phillies prospects and talk about the Dominican Summer League Phillies have two teams down there, the Phillies white and red team. So maybe we'll get into that. I'll blow your mind completely off of that. I'll spend half my week talking about prospects. But that's your schedule as we get into the weekend. Oh, man. Crawford is the player of the game. 100%, man. How can you not give Crawford player of the game? It was great to see it, too, right? Get that monkey off his back. Jacob Young. Okay. That's who I would take. LOL. Speaking of the minors, any updates on Miller? Nothing. Topper was asked that question yesterday. I did not listen to the answer, but apparently he is still sort of, he's still in Florida. I know that, and he's still dealing with the back problem. So Zach Wheeler will be pitching on Friday in Durham, North Carolina. If you're there, he'll get the nod against the Bulls. And then reportedly after that, he'll make one more rehab start with Reading 5 days from then. And then we could be potentially seeing him back in Philadelphia. Kirkering pitched yesterday and got lit up a little bit. Gave up like 2 runs in an inning. He got lit up a little bit. So, but we're trending back in the right direction. So, all right, there you go. There's all the happenings, comings, and goings. Let's get in now to our Broad Street bottom line. All right, that's the Broad Street bottom line for this game for me. And this is, I have a rule. This is like the third year we've been doing the Broad Street bottom line, and I've constantly screw it up. I always look at this thing more like pushed out. I don't really center it to the game. It's supposed to be when we developed it. It's your Broad Street bottom line of the game. I've never adhered to that. I'm always looking out. I'm always looking to the horizon, looking to see what's coming up. Let's kind of go backwards, though. For the Broad Street, I'm going to talk about the Broad Street bottom line of the opening 6 games of this season, right? Again, the overreaction, because it was, and it is overreaction to a 3-3 start and the way they got to 3-3. Because it is not indicative of this baseball team in 2026. This is what this team has been since 2020. I'll give them 23. This is what they've been. There's nothing new about what's happening with this baseball team from 2023 to now. So the uproar, oh my God, what's going on? What do you mean they can't drive runners in scoring position? Bryce Harper's just trying to hit home runs. Be still my beating heart. There's nothing indicative or different about this team this year than there has been over the last 3 years. So the overreaction, both the positive and the negative, right? And you know what? The positive, and I'm going to give you an example of the positivity. The homer take of the week, uttered by multiple homers on this network. It's only 5 games in. It's only 4 games in. It's only 6 games in. That is one of the biggest homer takes I've ever heard in my life. What baseball team have they been watching? We're like 500 games into this team. This is not a matter of a different season. It's a matter of what this team is. But today, we saw what it could be, especially with Justin Crawford. We saw what he brings to this lineup, what type of diversity, what type of chaos he could provide this lineup if given the opportunity. Now, at one point, old Sleepy Rob's going to have to turn him loose on the base paths. And I don't know if he's able to get to that point. Maybe Rob's got to work up to the whole base stealing portion of managing a baseball game. I don't know. I don't want to get too excited about it. But what Justin Crawford does provide is a change in the team's DNA, and we saw it today. We saw what it does today. So the overreaction, both negatively and positively, by it's only 6 games in, Skippy. No, it's not. It's not 6 games in, man. It's like 600. It's completely overblown. This is what they are. And if you have not figured that out yet, if you cannot look at me and tell me that you understand what this team is, because you've seen the same team in 2025. You've seen them in 2024. You've seen them in 2023. Guess what? They're the same in 2026. It would stand that they would be because it's the same people, right? Everyone's the same, with the exception of Justin Crawford, right? And Garcia, whatever. So an even keel through 6 games, 3-3. You got a series win under your belt. We just got to get to the end of April at 500 or better and healthy. And then we can continue our drive through this year. But stop getting overly concerned or overly hyped about what this baseball team is. We already know what they are. We've seen this story before, over and over again. So that's my Broad Street bottom line, is let this season play out like we've let the others play out. And when it really means something down there at the end in October, God willing, maybe something has changed along the way. And we cannot say that anymore. So that's my Broad Street bottom line. It's just the way I look at things, man. All right, let's go around the bases. All right, let's go around the bases on this Wednesday afternoon. We'll first talk about games that are still unfolding at 1-1 between the Mets and Cardinals as they are moving to the top of the 11th in St. Louis, the Big Lou. It is 1-0 Arizona over the Detroit Tigers as they head to the top of the 7th. It is 1-0 Yankees over the Mariners in the bottom of the 5th out in Seattle. Top of the 5th, it is 1-0 Padres over the Giants. Later tonight, the games that have yet to happen. Later tonight at 7:40, it's Twins at KC, Guardians at the Dodgers. Now let's talk about the games that have gone final. It was the Braves 5-1 winners over the Athletics. Orioles all over the Rangers 8-3. 8-3 Pirates over the Reds. Rockies 2-1 winners over the Blue Jays in Toronto. And it was the Marlins all over the hapless White Sox. God, 10-0. Didn't they give up 14 runs last week? 10-0. Marlins are 5-1 by the way. Brewers 8-2 winners over the Rays, and it was 6-4 Astros over the Red Sox. Cubs 6-2 winners over the Angels, and of course your Titans 6-5 winners in extra innings, and they've gone to 3-3 on the season. Next up for the Phillies will be the Colorado Rockies, and they will go. It'll be what's his name? Nola against Lorenzen tomorrow in Colorado to kick off that series. The Cubs series is in late 20? It's a 4-game set, 20th to the 24th. Is that that's the Cubs series? I don't know. Yeah, you might need them. It all really kind of depends on Taijuan Walker to me. It really does. If we can get by with Taijuan, I'm not fibbing here. If you can get by with Taijuan Walker for a couple months, why rush him back? I'd rather have a fresh Wheeler heading down the stretch of the season than a fresh rounding into form Wheeler down the stretch of the season. But it really is dependent upon what you're going to get out of Taijuan Walker. I think that's really what it levels out to be. But yeah, I guess you could be looking to get him back at that time. Painter last night, Crawford this afternoon. Yeah, and this is what we were looking for. This is the change, man. This is the change. Arizona broke them in 23 low and away, and they will chase, and they have not stopped since. That's far. I think Miller is hurt. He is hurt. And that's what the problem is. He has not even really had anything of a spring training yet. As concerns starting to grow that maybe he's got something a little bit better, a little bit worse than, back pain. Is there something else that maybe we should be weary of here? I don't know. But all you Aiden Miller, and I'm one of them, who are maybe trying to perhaps see Aiden Miller wearing pinstripes by the All-Star break. That's probably not happening this year. And Wheeler has scored. Yeah, he's pitched well. And he's going to get another shot at it down there in Durham on Friday night against the Bulls, pitching for the Iron Pigs. So stay tuned for that. This is what's going on here on the network today. Later on tonight, you'll have the Pittsburgh Sports Desk, and then no final word tonight. Sorry about that. Tomorrow, I will return with the final word at 10 p.m. We will do a twofer, as I will also have Clear the Ice duties, as I will talk Flyers Red Wings, getting you ready for Friday, which will be me again back on the post game for Flyers Islanders, and Big Al will have you for the Philly Friday Frenzy and the Fighting's Final combo show. Saturday is the best of the week. That was, and it's a Wrap Sports. And then Mike Laro will have you on Phillies Rockies on Saturday, and I will be back Sunday for Phillies Rockies. I will also be back on the filling in for Al on the Philly AM Sports Show on Sunday morning, and Mike will have you Sunday night at Flyers Bruins. So a Mike Laro, Matty B Sunday is in store for you on your Easter Sunday this weekend. So that's what's going to play. Al's checking in with big win. Yeah, it was a big win. Good win tonight or today at the first BPS at CBP Business Person Specials. Yeah. All right, folks. Listen, that's going to wrap me up. Thank you for tuning in and being part of it. I appreciate it. Trey's tendencies and predictability made him less difficult to pitch in October. Good Lord, have I opened up the October can of worms already? That's what it's all about, right, Nooms? I mean, let's face it. We can sit here and tell, I'm looking at one pitch at a time, one game. No, you're not. And I say it too. I'm taking it one. I actually, but I mean I am, because I already know how this is going to be. So I am looking at this one game at a time. But it's all about October. It always has been, always will be. While this team is in place right now, it's always going to be about October. And it's always going to be how they're going to react to October. But yes, to kind of sum up what we talked about today, the biggest homer take that I've heard so far this early season has been it's only 5 games. It's only 4 games. It's only 6 games. It's biggest homer take I've heard. Because we know, real Phillies fans know, we're about 600 games into this. It's been the same thing since 2023. So this whole, it's only 5 or 6 games into a season. You know what you can do with that. It's about 600 games into this regime. So take them for what they are. And this is what they are. That's why this is not very frustrating to me. It's not like I am starting like, oh my God, this is what they are. So let's enjoy it as much as we can, because it's going to be a bumpy ride. We already know that. But maybe today, maybe the Justin Crawford, maybe the diversity, the ability to hit the ball on the ground. Where is that guy today? Why is he not here? I got into an argument on Sunday with some analytics geek. He's probably about 22 years old, telling me how Crawford's not going to succeed in an MLB because his exit velo is whatever it is, and he doesn't hit the ball hard enough, essentially, and he hits them on the ground. I almost lost my on this guy, right? Everything that's wrong with baseball, and this made me kind of scared, because I thought up to this point, people sort of, they look at analytics, and I get that, but I think people really like look at analytics, like they're driving the train analytically on everything in baseball, and that's a sad state if that is true. But I know it's starting to spin back the other way, because I'm privy down to the lower competitive levels, and I think it's sliding back to a more of a fundamental type of thing. As much as I like ABS, it's underrepresenting the front and back of the plate. Well, again, the Nooms, I don't know what you want anymore. There's never going to be a 100% solution to this problem, because of the fact that you're trying to throw a sphere into it's not 90-degree angles. I don't even know what angles the plate is, but it's 3D into 2D, or that's basically what we're trying to do here. We're trying to fit a 3D thing into a 2D thing. And I don't know if it's ever going to happen. I was screaming for Marsh to take at least one pitch. This guy must have been Revere fears the analytics area is it is, and that's a good thing, Steve. All right, folks, listen, thanks a lot. I appreciate your time. I am going to say adios. Before I go, I want to thank everybody, and of course, Harry the K. I hope his wife doesn't sue me. Harry the K, what you got?